What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Business Breakthrough. Sitting down today with Ian Sebesta, a good friend of mine, has been on here multiple times. And what's awesome is that each new time is just a new step in his business, going through the ebbs and flows. Today we talk about, hitting a breaking point. The B word came up, bankruptcy, and what we had to do is dig deep. We had to find out what the issue was in this business breakthrough. I think we did. Ian left this business breakthrough with a plan, and at the very least, there's hope there. And I think as business owners, we got to really dig deep. We got to search. We got to get gritty. And you're going to hear a lot about that in this episode. So tune in. We all go through this together. So I love sharing these stories, and very grateful for Ian to make his situation public, because we know that all of you that listen to this can resonate in some way or another. The big question you need to ask yourself every day is, do I own a job or do I own a business? And unfortunately, the majority of contractors out there own a job. That's right, they're a slave to their own business. But the other side of the fence is so much greener, it's so much better, and that's when you're finally fully in control of your destiny, your freedom, your time. And that's what Contractor Secrets is about. It's about taking back our time, building a business with systems, standards, values, procedures, putting yourself in the driver's seat. And that's what it's about. So I'm excited. I'm happy to have you here. Let's dive into the Contractor Secrets podcast. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Business Breakthrough. I'm back again with my good friend Ian. He came to me with situations that I'm excited to hammer through. You always do. You're always prepared. I know you probably got some notes.
Oh, yeah.
Always got notes. Let's start off with this. You told me that your business is going to be bankrupt soon if you don't make a change.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Okay. Long story short, I dropped my prices. I got really good friends with one of these flooring stores. Me and him were really close now. I go over, he closed up the shop, 3 hours early, brought him a bottle of gin, his favorite gin, ordered a pizza for us. We sat down and we just talked business, and we really broke down the numbers, and I was charging too much. So we dropped the cost of my, of what I was charging. And I actually closed 3 jobs. So I feel like I'm more at like a, competitive pricing now. And I think the reason why my pricing was so high was because I was trying to kind of make up for the time that my guys were taking to get the job done. Now, with that being said, I sat them down and I asked them, I said, how long is it going to take for us to do X amount of square feet? How many square feet can you guys get done in a day? And they said they think that they can get 750 square feet, which is a fair number. And you know what, normally 2 master installers should be able to get down 1,000 square feet, but I thought 750 was a fair number. So I started, scheduling my jobs, assuming that we were doing, 750 square feet roughly a day. Obviously that doesn't include trim and stuff like that. So I kind of, calculated my schedule, and I got 3 jobs booked up until next week pretty much. And it got to the point where our first job, we were a day and a half over. And then the job that they're at right now, we're 2 days over. And it's just got to the point right now we're 2 days over on this job because we had to split the team up to be able to make up to finish the last job. And it's just
one person's working on the job right now?
Well, right now they're split up in 2 different jobs because we have to get the other one started.
So they're working by themselves.
Yes, which is not what I wanted to have happen ever. And it's just like we're in such a and the problem is I did the job costing for the last couple of jobs that we did, and we're not making the percentages like we should be. The labor cost is so high, and at this point, like with my marketing and my overhead, like I only have like 3 weeks at max until I'm going to hit that point where we're rough, because I still have to pay my taxes from last year, which is about $9,000. And that's about what I have in my bank account now. I do have about $30,000 on hold from a renovation that we recently did, which should be coming in the pocket within the next month or so. But I don't want to have to rely on that big renovation and be able to, save the money that we had to spend on all these other jobs. So,
all right, let's start with this. Let's talk about, I want to know all your overhead expenses right now. Hurry up.
Okay. So we have, marketing is about $5,500. We have gas, which I put about $130 every 2 or 3 days. So let's call it about, $250 to $300 a week in gas, whatever that is times a month. And then insurance is about $200 for my car. Liability insurance is about $150 a month. Dripjobs, of course. We got QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Payroll. It equals out to about $8,000 from what I calculated, but that's
how much is QuickBooks?
Payroll.
Both time tracking and payroll.
Time I think is $30 a month. Payroll is about $25 a month. And then I do have an accountant. That
How
is right.
much are they?
They charge by the like each time. It's not monthly. It's every year pretty much. But he said his cost for that for last year was about $2,500.
So you divide that by 12 to get the overhead.
Yeah, but he
Um,
said it might be different this year because
so
now I
about
have employees.
200. All right, I just need a rough figure. Okay, so let's count this up. So 5,500 plus 200, 150, $100, 30 bucks plus 220 plus 130. And what did you say? How much did you say you think it is?
About $8,500.
You're at 6340 from what I can count.
But that doesn't include the marketing of 5,500,
Yeah,
right?
it does.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. So you're about 6340, unless something I'm missing. But so regardless, let's just say it's at 6340. Okay. And you can calculate that later. Let's just say 6,500. Are you paying yourself a salary?
I haven't paid myself
You don't even
once.
have any, you're not even paying yourself.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I also forgot car wash and storage locker. That's about $400.
Car wash and a storage locker for 400 bucks.
Well, a car wash is $30 a month, and a storage locker is about $330 a month.
What are you putting in the storage locker?
It's just extra materials, tools, all that kind of stuff.
You can't put that anywhere else.
Not really, no.
Okay. All right. So 6,800 bucks a month. All right. So let's talk about this for a second. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you ever heard the word critical mass?
I don't think so, no.
All right. I'm going to look it up because I want to know the definition. So, I mean, I know it like in just like slang, but I want to read. So on the physics, it's the minimum amount of fissile material needed to maintain a nuclear chain reaction. Okay, that's the physics, the definition. The street definition is the minimum size or amount of something required to start or maintain a venture. That one applies a little more to you, doesn't it?
Mm.
Okay, so critical mass, right? So in order for you to stay afloat, your critical mass is not just 6,800, right?
Mm-hmm.
On a monthly basis, because you have labor. What's the labor cost per month? Did we add that in?
Well, as examples so far
That's
for
not overhead though. If it's hourly, it's
yeah,
not overhead.
it is hourly.
Okay, so
But
on average, what is the hourly? Like
uh,
on a week, what are you paying out
on a week, I'd say, let me just calculate it. It's about $2,800
a week?
a week.
Okay, 2,800 times
That's
4.
with burden.
So that's 11 too. Okay, so 6,800, and then you have 6,800 plus 11,200. Okay, so your critical mass for the company at the rate that you're doing is you need to do 18,000 in sales to cover all your labor for the month and all your overhead. Okay. Now, what I want you to understand is this. Okay. Right now, you figured out this issue with your pricing where you're saying, okay, I found out where I need to be. And right off the cuff, do you know what that profit margin is at this new metric that you've decided that works and you're getting consistent yeses? What is that margin on a gross level?
So if I was to say that they can get about 750 square feet done a day, which is a good average, I should be making about 50% margins profit.
Oh, well, that's a phenomenal margin. What are you charging per square foot?
Laminate vinyl is about $2. Hardwood nail downs $250. Glue down hardwoods $3 to $350.
Yeah, that's the ballpark, I'd say. Okay, but at 750 square feet a day, they're expected to do. That's how you're pricing it, and then you're saying, okay, I'll hit 50%. Okay, cool. So let's look at it like this, and then I want to get one more data point out of you. What is the maximum gross amount that they can accomplish in a week? So if they're doing 750 a day, the two of them, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 5 days of work. That's 3,750 of square feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's the max based on your new metric of how much they can do at maximum capacity, right? And if you're charging $2 a square foot, Ian, I'm right here with you, bro. That means that you guys should be grossing $7,500 per week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we do that times 4, that's your sales. That's what's coming in, right? Multiply that by 4, Ian, that's 30 grand. So at capacity right now, if you were at capacity, right? And again, that's ensuring that they do 750 square feet a week. Your sales are hitting 7,500 a week, in any capacity. You're at 30 grand. What did we say our overhead plus costs are to accomplish that much work? 18,000. So at optimum efficiency, the company should be generating plus 12,000.
Mm-hmm.
Are you following me there?
Yep.
Okay. So the thing about it is that what I'm looking at is that this team of two is not responsible for just maintaining the job. They're responsible for maintaining the business too, right? These two people are responsible for not only maintaining the cash flow required to sustain the job, they're responsible to not only make up the 15,000 that they should be generating. Okay. Or excuse me, see if it's 7,500. Okay. So they're not just responsible for making up the 50% margin on a gross level that they're supposed to be making on a job basis. They're responsible for also generating the $6,800 overhead in the business, right? Mm-hmm. So if you've got a piece of paper like I do here, and you have that $6,800, and you circle it at the top, draw it at the top, and you have a circle. Can you do this with me real quick?
Yeah, let me get a piece of paper.
Grab a piece of paper real quick.
Okay, what am I doing? Writing 6,800 at the top?
You're writing $6,800 at the top, and I want you to circle it. I want you to draw a line at the bottom of that circle downward, and then branch it off to the left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I want you to do another branch to the right. So you should have like an upside down goalpost. Okay.
So American.
Yep. I want you to draw another circle at the bottom of each one. So now you have like a bracket. And what's 6,800 divided by 2? 3,400. Right? 3,400 in each one. Okay. So right now, that would be the overhead responsibility of each crew if you had 2 crews.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense? Because right now, again, that one crew, and you're not always going to hit your maximum capacity every single week. It's going to fluctuate. Ideally, you would just hit 7,500 every single week and you'd be laughing your way to the bank. But that doesn't always happen. Sometimes it's 5,500.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 6,200. But guess what never changes?
The overhead.
Okay. Right. So in any case, if you don't hit that critical mass, let's say you guys do 4 weeks consistently at 5 grand. Well, then you're only making 20 grand and you think you're broke because the cash flow hasn't corrected and you're operating negatively, you think, because marketing's due, all these payments are due, and the cash flow isn't appropriating. So you look at your bank account like I'm losing money. But if you looked at it on an accrued basis from the beginning of the month to the end of the month, which is hard to do because sometimes payroll happens the week after. But if you look at it on an accrued basis, you would be netting, but on a cash flow basis in the way that the cycles work of the weeks, it looks like you're losing. Mm-hmm. So goal number 1 is to ensure that you're quoting at least 7,500 and selling at least 7,500 square feet of flooring per week, right? And if you're only charging $2 a square foot, we said this, you're going to get 7,500 in sales. Okay. Now let's average this out on the low end, because again, that's not always going to happen. Let's be safe and say that you only sell $6,800 per week. Okay. That's being safe, right? So this crew of 2 times 4 is going to generate $27,200. Okay. To pay this crew. Okay. And this is just labor pricing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, to pay this crew, we said what? That the total cost to pay this crew per week was, I lost my number there.
2,800, I think.
About 2,800 a week. Okay. That's 11,200. All right. So again, what I'm trying to help you see with that overhead is that if you have 2 crews of 2, the other crew takes half of the overhead burden. Mm-hmm. And the more crews that you do, usually the overhead increases, but there's a certain tipping point where it doesn't increase variably, right? It doesn't increase proportionally, right? Because overhead is designed to essentially be a fixed cost, okay, that does not fluctuate with demand, right? I guess you can consider marketing overhead, but that it's not forced to fluctuate unless you choose for it to fluctuate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that right now there's so much pressure on this one crew to produce all of the income for not only the jobs, but the overhead. Now, I know we talked about maybe, hey, starting up a painting business and being able to sell with a little more room because you can work in materials a lot easier, and customers are kind of naive to the margins when it comes to paint. You know, it's kind of the norm for the contractor to provide the paint as opposed in the flooring space, a little bit different. So you have to navigate that. You only have an opportunity to sell labor, and labor, when they look at what your cost per square footage is comparable to other people. So you have to work a little bit harder. So we know all these things, but I'm just saying this: if you have 3 crews of 2, and let's say I'm just going to say that your marketing doesn't fluctuate, even though you might have to go a little bit higher on your marketing costs. Let's just say it doesn't. Now each crew is only responsible to make up for $2,500 worth of overhead. So each crew has to at least make 2,500 plus their wages. Okay. So, and let's say you do the same thing where it costs you 2,800 per week for 2 guys on each crew. So that's 2,800 3 times. And I know this is a lot, but I just want you to understand that I think that the critical mass here, that word that I used earlier, is going to be really important in your ability to hang in there, because you got to realize that, like, once you add another crew, not only are you going to be able to cover most of these overhead costs much easier, of course, there's going to be more money, but you're going to be profiting from each job. Like, essentially, each crew you need to see as its own business. That's the way I see it in my painting business. Crew 1 is its own business. Crew 2 is its own business. They don't work with the other guys. They stick to themselves. I look at their margins individually. I look at what they can produce individually. The other crew, hey, that's another business. And if I start another crew, that's another business. And they're all operating under the Premium Painting brand. And I think, like, for right now, the situation that you ran into the last time we spoke was that the pricing wasn't there and you couldn't really understand what's going on. So you said, okay, well, I figured out the pricing now. Okay, you figured out what works. Now duplicate it and then make the decision on if you're going to be bankrupt. Because if you're generating another crew's worth of sales, that overhead cost is going to be cut in half. So you're going to be netting more as a business. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think the other thing is that I do agree that obviously that is like looking at numbers, and that does make sense. When I did do the job costing, which I could share my screen if you'd like, I looked at the time of what they're getting. Like, I kind of wrote it down here to show you, but here's an example. This job, 80 square feet, 30 linear feet of shumeled and baseboard, but it took them 2 days for 80 square feet. And then we scroll down here, it's 150 square feet. It took them almost a full day. We scroll down here. This is the one where I actually had to go on site for a weekend and a Monday, and it was 3.5 days to do 700 square feet. And then the last job, which is the one that they're at today, is this one here.
So where are you coming up with 750 square feet, Ian? I mean, you're just showing me a spreadsheet that says that they took 2 days to lay 150 square feet.
That's so I know exactly.
Or 80 square feet. Excuse me. It took them 2 days. What was the issue?
Well, this issue.
How much did you sell that job for?
Let's see. That one was $1,900, and that was including a sub. And
so
we
you
made
lost $100 on this job.
That is correct. And then this job here.
So wait. I just want to know, what was how did it take 2 days to lay 85 square feet? Whose fault was it? Yours?
No, they told me that apparently ramping up 3 pieces of wood took almost 6 hours, and doing a little nosing took, like, that's the thing. When I go to this guy at the flooring store who's been doing it for 12 plus years, I tell him these things, and he's like, man, like he's actually coming to one of my job sites tomorrow, and he's going to act almost like undercover boss, like a guy who's just like coming to see what the workflow is like, and he's thinking about maybe joining the business, and he's going to act like he doesn't know what he's doing. And he's going to watch, and he's going to tell me if he thinks that they're doing stuff while I'm not there. Like, dude, I know it's crazy, right?
Oh my, dude, if it's gotten to that point, you have the wrong team members, bro.
That's what I'm thinking. Cause like, if you look at
it's got, dude, listen, hold on, dude. If you've gotten to the point where you got to send in a spy on your team,
a plant,
how embarrassing, bro.
It's
not, it's just, here's the thing, Ian, like, if this were happening in my business, I wouldn't be on this call with me. I would be on the freaking job watching. Bro, watching, sitting there all day, parking the car, watching, and with a timer in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
How come you haven't done that yet?
Most of the day, like try to start scheduling my days so that I'm there for 4 hours in the morning, and then the remaining of the day is doing estimates, just to try to keep the guys busy.
Yeah,
Um,
I get that, but you're at a level, you're in the like such the red zone in terms of like uncertainty. And what you're showing me here in terms of like, I'm blown away of the fact that you told me that that you think the capacity for these guys is 750 square feet.
that's not what these guys. That's what they should be at.
That's what, okay. I'm just saying they're not even close looking at these
I
numbers you're
know.
showing.
Like
They're not
it,
even near it. The highest one that I seen was, what's that most they've done ever in a day?
the most. Well, here's a perfect example.
Because you remember when I gave you those hypotheticals, it was basing it off of the capacity of 750 square feet, you selling it 7,500 a week in sales. We're not even close to that.
That's why I was saying we're going down, and I think it might require getting rid of the guys. But if you look at this, can you see this text document I'm looking at?
I can.
So right here, this is me. I had to work 14 hours. Jamie had to work 14 hours. We're at 231 square feet we installed and 275 linear feet of baseboard in 28 hours. For them two alone on site, they got 400 square feet done and prep. This means doing they did a nosing, they did flooring, and they just did prep, which is cutting down door jambs and just like screwing down the floor in areas where there's squeaks. And they only got 400 in the prep done. We got all this trim done and caulked. We did half the flooring, a little bit more than half the flooring that they did, and the same amount of nosings in, a decent amount less. What is that? 6 hours less? 6 hours less.
Yeah, I mean, you're trending downward big time, and it's not. I believe that there's a few factors here. The first thing is that, um, you know, I think the first thing of this entire process is, I'll tell you a quick story, man. When I worked at the restaurant, I had this guy. His name was Tony. He's the owner of the restaurant, man, and he was like the owner, man. Like he was there, and I own my business remote. Like, but I'm there. I'm there because they know I'll be there. Like if there's an issue or if things are moving too slow, I'm coming. They know that. I mean, there's a certain presence that needs to be known about, hey, we're on the clock here, and I think that you have a couple options, right? I think the first option is maybe you find subs and you become a sales company where, hey, you know what? They don't finish the job in a certain amount of time, they don't get paid.
That's what it seems every single flooring company I've spoken to does. Not one
Yeah.
person have I met
I
yet
mean, the
that
employee,
does the employee.
the employee model, but I do employees on my flooring jobs. I have a night. I sold 3 bedrooms. I think it was 800 square feet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sold it for $2,000. It's going to get done Friday, 3 days.
How many square feet again? Sorry.
800. It's going to get done in 3 days. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So 1950. Okay. Each guy, I got one at 25. Okay. So he gets $600. I got one at 20. So he gets 480. So it's 1080. I net about $850 on that. That's just a 3-day filler. And that's it. No materials, just installation.
A lot of people tell me that the reason why it's taking so long for these guys to get square footage done is because there's no drive because they're getting paid hourly regardless. Where that's why a lot of
when you
people go the
realize
sub
that you
route.
got the wrong team. And
I
it's
know,
like,
that's what I say, right?
again, the first red flag is the feeling that you're sending in somebody to watch your team. You need to watch your team.
Yeah.
I don't know where I think there's this little thing of like, I don't want to lose these guys because then I have to go back to nothing.
Yeah, it is there for sure.
Okay. I don't want to lose these guys because then I don't have anything and I got to start fresh, but you do have something. It's intangible. You learned.
Oh yeah. That's
that's you do
100%.
have something. You're not going, your zero is a new zero. It's not the old zero of Ian. You're never going to go back to being a solopreneur again. You can't. You've already tasted what it feels like.
And I also want to mention, and this is one thing that you taught, that the one thing I definitely didn't listen to is don't become too comfortable with your employees. That's just anyone out there listening. Do not, like, on the first little while, don't get too comfortable, because that's one of the hardest things about letting them go if I have to, is that I feel like it's like almost like a friendship's been bonded now.
Nah, dude, I love my guys. Like, and I've learned this in the restaurant when I managed restaurants, and like people invited me to parties and they invited me to go out and hang out after work. Couldn't, can't, sorry,
Mhm.
because there was the that happens, bro. Like even my guys, like I love my guys, but there's got to be some separation there in terms of,
Yeah.
hey, look, this is business, man. And if you are in a position where people think, nah, they'll never fire me, you've done a poor job of separating business and pleasure.
And I've heard from a client that I got pretty close with, that on the site, they were complaining about like the work that I was giving them and stuff like that, which I didn't like to hear. So what I did was it was about a month and a half they've been working with us now. So I brought them one by one in my truck and I sat them down and I said, not saying anything what he said, but I said, I want to give you guys this opportunity. After 2 weeks, we talked about you and how you've been in the business, but tell me, how do you feel about working for us? Is there anything that you didn't like about work? Like, I gave them the opportunity to speak up, and they both said that they love working here, and it's great, and they enjoy the work and stuff like that. But the only thing that they said was they don't know what they can do about the speed, because we've been trying to I brought up the speed like 20 times to them now, talking about what can we do to
What time do
change.
they work during the day?
8 to 4.
8 to 4.
Yeah, so they're just finishing up today, but the one guy's probably staying till 6 p.m. just to get that one job done, which I'm going to be driving there after this pretty much. But and so I asked them, what do you guys need to speed up? And they said to me, they said, a helper could help. And I was like, okay, so maybe that's the thing. But I looked at it like this: if I include a helper, then I'm putting a band-aid on the problem. If they should be doing 750 square feet with like one guy and a helper, then why can't two master installers, sorry, a master installer and a helper, why can't two master installers be doing that, if not plus more? Me adding a helper to two master installers
Yeah, I
isn't
mean, there's something.
fixing
I
my
mean,
problem.
Ian, dude, there's something here. Either you have a team that, first of all, you got to understand like motivation. Like, I think like like for me, I never think about if my guys are milking the clock.
Mhm.
Like, that never even crosses my mind, because I've set the standard of that. Hey, you have 2 days to do this job. Like I said,
Yeah.
okay,
That's what I
there's
go on there and
four
I give them the
guys.
standard, and they just sit
You
there and they
got
say,
4 guys on every job. Okay, it's
yeah.
like they know they need to get the jobs done. Like, and the benefit of that is that they don't hear from me and it's a smooth workflow. And they understand that if they don't work out at this job as painters, they're going to be working in a team of 2 probably at the next competitor. So I stack the deck on my end in terms of like putting a team together and camaraderie and all that stuff. And I know that you're dealing with 2 people, but it's a little bit different, and it's like, what's the motivation for them to go faster other than, hey, Ian said you got to move a little quicker? I mean, have you established a certain level of respect where what you say goes in your business?
I think so. Yeah. Like, one of the guys said, when you tell me that we're not profiting on these jobs, it doesn't make me happy. And that's the last thing I want to have happen, because I know, they want to see Brinks to succeed, and they want to see, you know, growth within the business. So,
Yeah.
they tell me to my face that
I
they
think you
care.
need to, I think you like, honestly, before you make any drastic decisions of starting a new business or dude, don't send a random guy to your job, bro. Call him and tell him he's not coming, dude. That's the most embarrassing thing for anyone involved, including yourself. The fact that you have to send someone in there to see if your guys are cheating you. If
Well,
he's going to be,
it's not to see if they're, because what happened was, one of the workers said that, hey, I'll pay, because I told him, I was like, I've been talking to people and they say that we can get this much done, like how do you think we can get to that point? And he said to me, he's like, look, I don't think it's possible. I would pay out of my own pocket to see him come show me. So when he goes, he's not necessarily going to say, oh, they're dogging it, or they're cheating you. He's more going to see, one, if there's ways that they can improve from what he sees, but he doesn't want them to change knowing that's why he's there. So that's why,
Bill, I
like,
think you don't even know.
yeah, I
That's
don't.
what the problem is, and that you need to go first. Like,
Mhm.
if that was happening in my business, I would be at the job
Mhm.
watching with a clock in my hand. You don't even know what your team can accomplish if you're there. That's the standard, right? If they can't perform when you're there watching as their boss, that should bring out what their best work. And
Mhm.
if you're not getting their best work with you sitting there, I mean, if anything, it's going to make you a better estimator at the very least. Maybe you're wrong.
Yeah,
Maybe 750 is a stretch. Maybe you're really wrong. You don't even know.
I don't. That's why it's
Don't you
hard for
feel
me to
like
want to
that's
let
our
them
missing
go.
variable? Send in some rando in there to bring his 25 years of expertise into your system. Doesn't allow you to see what the problem is initially. It just says, oh, okay, we'll do it his way. Then you got to wait for a longer feedback loop until the high of that wears off. And then they go back to their old ways. Find out what the capacity is first, and then approve on top of that. Oh, okay, well, I was sitting here and you guys did 700. Now let me bring in an expert and see if we can improve that.
Yeah.
Don't do that first.
Okay. So I kind of like laid out 3 options on the table of what my next move is. One was bringing in that helper to try to make up for the lost time and at least become somewhat profitable. At the end of the day, like I said, it's kind of putting a band-aid on the problem, but at least, if that is the case, like they need a helper. Once I expand to a second crew, then we can see where we can adjust. Cause I don't
What
want
would
to
be the helper's responsibility? Let me know.
mainly prep work, cutting down jams, cleaning up after the guys, racking out the floor for them, um, loading the tools, unloading the tools, that kind of stuff. Demoing. And so like less of the $30 an hour type work. So then pretty much that was one option, is bring a helper and see if we can adjust with what we have now. Cause I don't want to have to, just, there's one episode you said, don't source from outside of the business, try to source from inside the business. I want to try to keep the guys inside the business and make them better,
Dude,
keep them
Ian,
going.
dude, like you have 2 what you call master installers. Who
Mhm.
have you established as the leader?
I've been working on establishing one as the leader, but there's things that he still needs to work on.
Who's in charge?
I mainly it's one gentleman, the Jamie guy. I give him
Mainly.
more. What's that?
And in what way does he know that he's the leader?
Well, I told him that like we're looking to, upgrade someone to a team leader, but I need to see first from one of them who's got the ability to be that team leader. Because if I was to put
Dude,
Jamie as team
it's a
leader,
headless horseman. It's a headless horseman, bro. You have no leader there. You're looking to. It's either they're a leader or they're not. Who's in charge? Who who is accountable? No one. Oh, hey, no, you take the blame on that. No, Jamie, that's you today. Who's the freaking manager?
yeah,
You need to establish that today. It isn't we're looking to. You don't even have anyone in place. Looking to means you have someone in place. Maybe they're moving and that person steps up. Right now, someone needs to be held accountable. And if it's going to be Jamie, it should be the person you're paying the most.
yeah,
The
they're both the
Jamie?
same. They're both the
Both
same,
the
pretty
same?
much.
Oh, that's worse.
And
So,
if I was to, this is why I haven't moved Jamie up to that position, because I wanted to, and he's right there. But here's a little story. On a site, they were cleaning up. I came the next day early in the morning, found a mess. That night or that day, he told me that last night what happened was Jamie was cleaning up, and the other worker said, "Oh, don't worry about cleaning up. Like we're gonna have to make a mess tomorrow anyways." And then he said, "But Ian wants him cleaned up every single day." He's like, "Don't worry, Ian's not gonna be here. He won't even see it." Jamie called me that night, confirmed I was going to be there in the morning, called the other worker that night and said, "Damn, Ian's going to be in the morning. He's going to be pissed." And of course, I was not pissed, but I was just like, disappointed in the morning when I saw there's a mess, as I've made a daily checklist that they have to sign every single day saying that, yes, we cleaned up. And someone signs that page and says, "We cleaned up. We put away the tools. We said
so
goodbye
it
to the
was
client."
signed and it wasn't done.
They didn't sign the page. They never even did the page. He said, "Oh, sorry, we were rushing it last night. I forgot to do the page." And I was like, "Well,
Okay,
clearly
so
there's a
what's the
mess."
penalty for that?
I don't even know what to apply a penalty.
Wow.
I don't know how to go about. The only thing is like you're not following the standards, and then you're not right for the business. That's the
Dude,
only
there
thing I can think of.
no one's afraid of you.
Yeah.
That sucks, man. And I'm sorry, I never use fear as motivation. But it's not fear, it's respect.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I don't use fear. I don't take away people's money. I don't hey, but the reality is if you don't do what I ask you to do in the capacity of which I ask it to be done, you're not going to work here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And if you haven't established that authority in your own house, forget it, man. These issues that you're trying to solve with changing things up, more marketing, more sale, all these things that you're working so hard on is pointless unless you fix this issue right now. So you have action steps out the butt. But I'll tell you, one of them right now is establish who the heck is in charge today. Someone needs to be the manager today. Say, hey, this is your responsibility. Do you want this or not? And if they say no, all right, man, thank you so much, and you move on.
Can I ask, if he was to ask for a pay raise, do I offer that to him or
No,
no? That's what I was
no.
thinking.
Say you're getting paid as a manager. You're now the manager. Here's your responsibilities. Are you okay with these responsibilities? Do you agree to these responsibilities? You need to create an offer letter that says that he's the manager. You need to outline what his daily responsibilities are as a manager. Okay. And then you have him sign it. Say, this is what you're responsible for. This is the expectation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are not okay with this, please tell me now. And I think it would be best if we went our separate ways, because it's either you agree to this or I'm not going to have a business anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. Ian. Next stop is cancel your estimates for tomorrow. What's going on tomorrow? You guys starting something?
They are working on a job together, and I have to go finish
Oh,
up
good. They'll
another
both
job.
be there.
I have to go finish up another job, unfortunately, though.
You don't have any flexibility on that other job that you have to go finish?
I could work the weekend.
There you go. You cancel that and go there tomorrow all day. And say,
Mhm.
and then this is you need to talk to Jamie. There's some time left in the day. Maybe go meet up with him later and set the tone for tomorrow and say, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to be there tomorrow. What are they doing tomorrow?
Vinyl installation.
How many square feet?
600.
Oh man, this is meant to be, isn't it?
Yeah, Jamie's there today demoing.
Perfect. So this is just you asked them what they can install, not demo. You asked them what they can install in one day's time, right?
Yeah.
Dude, this is, I mean, hello, everything's lining up here, is it not?
Yeah.
600 some square feet. So they should get that done in one day. You're going to sit there for 8 hours and watch. Don't even dare pick anything up.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting there to observe and watch the whole day. It don't matter if it's uncomfortable. It doesn't matter what they think about it. You're going to be looking for breaks. You're going to be looking if they're playing on their phone. You're going to be looking and seeing what you're paying for every day.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Watch, they're going to get it done in one day. And you're going to be like, holy crap. Look at that. Guarantee it.
If that is the case, if it's me being on the site that's changing things.
No, now you know what the standard is. So when that standard drops,
then
something was off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's how you do it. But you don't know what the standard is yet. You might get there tomorrow and you know what? Hey, listen, even I could be wrong. Maybe they only get 500 square feet done and you saw them working at capacity all day long, right?
Mm-hmm.
500 is the standard.
Okay.
You feel good about that?
I think so. Now the other flip side, last thing I want to bring up was there's also the talk about possibly going back into renovations.
All right, well, let's not talk about that because that deviates what we just discussed.
No,
and
I know.
I think I don't want to hear about that.
Okay.
Because I want to see if this is a good or a bad investment. And I think you'll find out tomorrow if the flooring business is going to sustain or it's not based off of your findings.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can have a conversation about renovations another time.
If say the case is that they excuse me, is that they get
here's the case. It's either they do less or they hit the goal. And they have time to do more.
If they do less.
Okay.
Then is it fair to say that the flooring business might not be the right choice, considering the fact that
that's not the case. The case is if they do less, maybe they're not as expert as you think they are.
And it's better to get more expert people.
Maybe they don't know how to cut as good as you think they can. And he's having to look at a board 8 times to get the perfect cut. And he's sitting there for 30 minutes on one cut.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the case. Maybe you're overpaying. Maybe you didn't have the right people. Maybe you think you did. Maybe they talked you into believing that they are. And they're laughing their way to the bank every week.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care that you're sinking. They might say they are, but their checks are hitting every week.
Mm-hmm.
And,
so
and dude,
at that point, it's time to
listen, dude, there's a certain level of like authority that you need to have as a business owner, man. It's like, dude, I love people and I love my employees and I want them to make money. I want them to be happy, but they're not going to compromise my whole business if they're not operating in the way that they need to make us all successful. They're not just going to be the only one succeeding. You're the one taking all the risk.
Yeah.
You're the one having to wonder if you can even sustain, dude. That's not fair. Now it's to the point where you need to get serious. Don't you think?
I definitely think so.
Tomorrow you're going to get the big answer. We've done this. I don't know. It's our 4th one, but we've done this. And each time we get a little bit closer to finding out what's going on here. right? And I
Mhm.
think that tomorrow, if you do what I say, first you need to talk to the new manager on site,
Mhm.
okay, who now gets direct orders from you. You shouldn't even talk to the other guy anymore. And I'm not saying don't be personal. I'm saying like now we're in grind mode. Right now it's that guy that you hold accountable. And if he doesn't hit the mark and you tell him, "Hey, I'm going to be there tomorrow. We have 640 square feet to install. It needs to be done tomorrow. End of business. And if we're not there, we're staying late." And you're going to have a clock and you're going to see what time they finish.
Mhm.
Because if you told me that the expectation is 750 in a day's time and they have 600 something to do, no demolitions, just straight install, you're going to have an answer tomorrow, and it's going to be either less or it's going to be more. And if it's more high fives, handshakes, you guys are killing it. Let's keep this standard high. If
Buy
it's
him
lower,
pizza.
maybe pizza. Seriously. I mean, but if it's lower, then you either have to identify, is it lower and is that accurate? So you would say, okay, did they work at a smooth pace all day? And am I wrong in terms of what our expectations are? That's when you bring in that guy to say, hey, can you come and maybe shadow us and see what we're doing wrong?
Mhm.
Right? That's where that's valuable. So maybe you can boost that up. Okay. But if it's low and you could tell that they weren't operating capacity, maybe the guy who was cutting wasn't doing his job. Maybe they're not communicating effectively. Maybe you have two leaders trying to lead and work independently the whole time and they're actually not accomplishing anything. Now you know you have a problem.
Mhm.
But you won't know anything until end of business tomorrow. And if you don't have a check in your hand, then you have a couple of decisions to make.
Sounds good.
Is that fair?
I think so.
Is this what you came for?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good plan, and I think you are right. Tomorrow is the deciding day
Tomorrow's
to a
D-Day,
degree.
man. D-Day. Decision day.
Decision day, deciding day. Yeah.
Is that what
I
that stands for?
no, I don't think so.
Is it demolition day?
I don't. I have no
I never
clue.
knew what that stood for. I was like, D-Day.
Isn't isn't it from World War II though?
Is it?
The day June 6th, 1944, World War II was yeah, it was a World War II.
Well, tomorrow's D-Day for Brink Construction to decide whether or not, you keep moving forward, man. Look, there's successful flooring companies all over. I just told you I'm one of them. I'm
Mhm.
successful. I'm not huge, but hey, we're profitable on
Mhm.
labor. I mean, it's possible. I mean, but again, I think you really need to be there tomorrow all day. Cancel whatever you got. Just sit there. You know, it ain't friend tomorrow. It's boss. Don't even talk much. Just say, look, I'm here to observe.
Mhm.
I know it's going to be difficult, but right now it's like you just told me that you're about to hit bankruptcy, man. I mean, where are we? I mean,
Scary.
it's scary. And I know you love people too, and you will build them up to be what they could be. But let's see where they are before we try to determine if they're a good fit or not. We don't even know where they are, you know? So I heard there's new companies coming up with little cameras for their construction workers that they have to wear to see how productive they are. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be a little over the top. I don't think anybody
Put
would
me
be
down
happy
for two. No, I'm kidding.
with that.
That's
But
crazy.
no,
But
let's recap this one maybe as soon as possible. So once you get your findings, get back to me
I think so. Yeah, I
because
mean,
that's it. But like I said, you do need to create some sort of structure for Jamie to be
yeah,
the
in terms of
the
that letter that you want me like
you could
is it an invitation almost?
it
Don't
is
put it
of
like don't
course.
put it in a card, but like you know what I mean?
No,
Like
it's
their
a letter that
duties.
you print out. It's a paragraph saying list like, Bring Construction would like to offer you an opportunity to be a project manager. At this point in time, it does not come with an increased pay amount, but it will come with potential future earnings based on performance. I mean, it's very simple. It doesn't need to be anything special, but it's just, hey, if he signs it, he just accepts the role of project manager. When you're small, act big, and when you're a big company, you want to always act small. But that's like a little anecdote there. It's
Yeah.
just one of those things that even though you have two employees, do the things that the big companies do because it
Yeah.
creates perception. Instead of you saying, "Hey, Jamie, I'm going to make you the project manager." No, you know, say, I don't know, is Jamie married? Does he have a family?
Yeah.
A little bit nicer when he goes home and says, "Hey, Ian gave me this offer letter today. I signed it. He wants me to be the project manager. This is his vision. He's going to be there tomorrow. You can have him, sign the offer letter tomorrow morning, or if you have an opportunity to meet him at the job today to do it, to make it official
No,
before
he's
tomorrow
leaving like
starts.
now.
He's leaving now.
4 o'clock. Yeah.
Is he? Is he
Yeah.
far from you?
30 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I
And
mean, use your
I have an
judgment.
estimate to go to after this
Yeah,
too.
use your judgment. Maybe this is something you do after you see how they work tomorrow. Maybe that's
Yeah.
probably a better idea to see.
I think it's better to do it after because I don't want it to give that boost of adrenaline for him to
Yeah,
push, push,
right. That
push.
boost will be nuts.
Yeah, because then it's like
That's
then I'm
just the
seeing artificial, like I want to see
yeah,
what the standard is prior to needing it to
prior.
be there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If we can get that number tomorrow, then
All right,
maybe give
good.
it to
Then
him.
don't tell them you're coming. You should be the first one there. See what time they're pulling up.
Mhm.
And just
That's a
say, hey,
problem is on time. But to be fair, they
ah,
are coming across from the other side of the city, which this is almost like an hour drive for them, hour 10 minutes. So sometimes traffic, like the highway, it's the most dangerous highway in North America, 401, and it's always got accidents all the time. So I somewhat
are they
understand, but
are they still leaving at 4, or are they making up for that time? So
um,
some days they'll work like 7.5 hours or
normally they end up working late every single day already.
okay.
So
All right. Hey man, listen. I hope that this works out for you. I hope that you
so
look
do
at
I.
these guys today or tomorrow and you're pleasantly surprised. But you don't want to hear that from somebody. You want to see it for yourself. This is your product. Right now, your employees are your best asset, and they always will be. You're selling your employees' work, by the way. Like that's what you're selling. Like if they're not producing quality product in a quality pace, that's your product. Like, that's kind of like Elon Musk. I don't know if you knew this, but like when Tesla was going through a major issue, this dude was sleeping in Tesla, dude, for months.
Mhm.
Sleeping there, bro, in the factory, in the gritty, dude. I don't know what do they call that? Like conveyor belt. I don't know. It's like that. It's a term they call it
I know
when
what you.
you know what I mean, where they do
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fact. I don't know, dude. Ford came up with it anyway. Dude, the guy was sleeping on a couch there because that's his product, man. And there's a certain thing that I have, and any entrepreneur that's passionate about their product has. It's just like that freaking like I don't know, man. It's just like
Drive.
with Dripjobs, bro. Like that's my freaking baby right now, man. Like
Mhm.
everything that I do surrounds Dripjobs, and it's like when something's wrong, bro. People ask, dude, what time am I on that freaking customer
Oh,
service
late.
chat?
I
Late, right?
we'll be back tomorrow. Oh, Tanner just responds
Yeah,
10
it
p.m.
says Dripjobs will be back tomorrow, and I'm boom. What do you need? Like, dude, it's just because we're in such a crucial stage. I'm still in the testing phase. You're still in the testing phase, bro.
I need to
You are
get a
no.
tag. I need to get bug finder,
What's
eh?
Bug Finder?
Like I need to get like a tag on my profile, the bug
Yes,
finder.
yes,
I've been
and
finding lots of
Ian,
bugs for you.
Ian brings things to my attention, but do we get them done?
You do. I check back at them. I see if you fixed them, and
Yeah.
you have actually.
Yeah,
So
man. Yeah, you're good at it. So no, but yeah, man. I mean, but again, I'm still in testing, and
yeah.
there's gonna be a time where you're in like success mode, and that'll come. But just start here, man. You're testing your production tomorrow. You're going in to see the quality of your product. You're looking at the quality of the product in the eyes of the customer, and also you're calculating from the business point of view. And you're saying like, man, what's going on here? Where did I mess up? Or where are these guys messing up? And then there at that point comes the biggest word in business, accountability.
Hmm.
Someone's going to be held accountable, either you or them tomorrow.
Hmm.
And once you know that, then we can shift blame. We can align our thinking. Maybe these guys are going to be the ones to help you build your business. Maybe you got some apologizing to do tomorrow, right?
Hmm.
That could happen too. Say, guys, listen, I think I overshot my expectations here. That's okay as a business owner. If you can't apologize as a business owner, you're not going to go far.
Yeah.
So that could be the case. Or they have to apologize to you when you say, listen, guys, what's going on here? I mean, do you know how to cut? Did you lie on your application?
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? So
They told me that like sometimes prep can take up to like 2-3 hours. And when I
we're
talked
not
to other
prepping
flooring,
tomorrow. It's straight right
well,
now. Just say,
I'm just saying like when I talk to other guys, they're like it takes 10 minutes to cut door jams. Like it can't be taking 2 hours.
yeah. So you need to time it. Say, all right, if they're cutting door jams tomorrow, why don't we stand behind them, see what their process is? How long did it take them to get the blade out of the vehicle? I mean, all these things need to be calculated so you know where that base point is,
Hmm.
right? And then we can turn the corner from there. So, all right, bro. Let's leave it at that. Hit me on. I know you'll give me feedback, so I'm excited to see what that is.
Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. Like I said, pretty clear schedule except for that one job which I could try to push to the weekend.
You're the man, bro. Good luck.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate
All
it.
right, dude. See you.
All right, bye.
Dripjobs CRM is finally here. That's right. So, Dripjobs is an automation platform for contractors, home service professionals that's going to automatically follow up with your customers. It's going to allow you to send invoices, estimates. It's going to allow you to send out blast marketing emails to individuals based on where they are in the buying process. This software is next level. And I'm reaching out to you. You're a listener of this podcast, and I want you to be one of the first ones to give it a shot. So if you want to see what Dripjobs can do for your business, I'd love for you to head over to dripjobs.com, sign up for a free demo, and get your team involved, and let us sit with you and show you how powerful this software is. It's going to save you time, it's going to make you money, and you're going to love the features that are built into Dripjobs. So if you want to check it out, head over to dripjobs.com, and we will give you first priority being a podcast listener to be one of the very first to try out Dripjobs in your home service business. I'm super excited to share that with you, and I'll catch you on the next episode.